Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Dr. Obi Oramba Iboweze, reaching you from Nkolo Mahadum, Wisdom University. At Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University, we encourage you to use your akonuche. Use your akonuche, irrespective of all the junk news you are getting around your environment. Always use your God, natural giving akonuche to look at things, look at issues before you make a decision. Today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the 6th month of the lunar calendar called Onwa Ifejioku. How sweet will it be if what we are using first is lunar calendar, such that anytime somebody asks you, what is the month? What do you refer, what do you call month? You say it is called Onwa Ifejioku. That gives you identity. That shows that you are practicing your own and not foreign. But if not, they will know that you are practicing foreign culture. And today's date in the foreign Roman Catholic calendar is July 12, 2024. In our lecture today, the title is Another Evidence Shows That Biafra Existed. Biafra had been existing before Nigeria was created by Lord Lugard in 1914. But before we continue, Nkolo Mahadum is begging you, is advising you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our programs, comment, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms. And most importantly, share our programs to your friends and well-wishers. And go back to all our lectures, all the lectures we have delivered before. All the lectures we have delivered is to set you free from colonialism, set you free from manipulation, set you free from miseducation. Because at Nkolo Mahadum, we educate you, we present lectures from Biafran and African perspectives. And so, going forward into the lecture, Nkolo Mahadum want to advise you that even the Western Europeans arrived in West Africa around the 1400s, which was in the 15th century. That was when they arrived at the shore of West Africa. And even when they arrived, they did not go into the hinterland. No, they didn't go into the hinterland. It was the Arabs that were their leg. The Arabs were the one running the slave trade and other trading going on internally in the hinterlands. The Europeans didn't go into the hinterland until about the 19th century or thereafter. And so they came in the 14th century. So before they came, there have been a lot of activities going on. The Biafran people have been living their life even before they came in the 14th century. You know? And when they came, that is during the slave trade, you remember? They have a place they call Bight of Biafra. And this Bight of Biafra is referred to the coast between the Niger River and Cape Lopez. This area includes nations in eastern Nigeria, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, and northern Gabon. The major trading cities in that bite of Biafra include Bonny and Old Calabar. And you know, when you talk of Bonny and Old Calabar, you must know that the Biafran people are the people that are domiciled in those areas. So the Europeans recognize this. And also, we will remind you that also during that slave trade, more than 1 million Africans of our people was also transported, during the transatlantic slave trade, which lasted between the 16th century and the 19th century. And so before they came, we had been there. And even during the slave trade, when they came and they were by the ocean, they didn't go into Africa. They know that we are there, and Biafran people have been there. There's no doubt about that. And then the information from a research that was performed by British researchers between 1856 and 1911 have this to say. As in addition to what I learned while in the river, I got information about Igbo from persons belonging to that country at Fernanda Po and at Sierra Leone. You see what they say here? I got much information about the Igbo from person belonging to that country, which means there had been a country existing as Biafra before the arrival of the Europeans. They know it. It's been in existence. And it goes further to say, it will be advisable here to embody all the interesting facts connected with it. And it continued. The Igbo country, Biafra, extends east and west from the old Calabar River to the banks of the Kwara, and also possesses some territory at Abo to the westward of the latter stream. On the north, it borders Egara. Egara is what they refer to, Egala, and Apoto, separated by petty tribes who also trace their origin to the Biafran people. And so this tells you the Biafran people have been in existence before the arrival of the Europeans and continues to exist during the slave trade until colonization and others. Remember also that between 1967 and 1970, Chief Eze Buruburu Odumegwu Ojukwu also led the Biafran state from 1967 to 1970. So all this continues to support the fact that Biafra is alive. Even as we are in Nigeria today, we are not in Nigeria by our own making. It is the British, from that period of amalgamation up to this period, it is the British that is holding their gun to our head through their stooges in Nigeria. That's why we are there. And before we continue, we have to ask you again to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our program, comment, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms, so that Anytime we present a new lecture, you'll be first. You will be the first to get it. It's very, very, very important. And continuing, Nkoloma want to ask you, if you are a Biafran living in Biafra land or living outside Biafra land, you live in Sokoto, you live in Kano, you live in Meduguri, you live in Abuja, you live in Lagos, you live in any of the West African countries as created by the colonial masters, or you live in Europe, Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Spain, or you live in America, or South America, or Australia, and you are a Biafran, what are you doing? This is the question Nkoloma want to ask you. Since you know that the Biafran nation had been existing before the arrival of the Europeans and continues to exist to this day, except that the gun of the British is the one holding us there with their guns, with their roadblocks, with their bad policies, lack of infrastructure, lack of seaports, lack of international airports, lack of federal presence. What are you doing to change it? What are you doing for freedom of Biafra? What are you doing? This is a very important question you have to be asking yourself. You don't just have to relax wherever you are and say, oh, everything is okay. After knowing these facts, the fact that our dear nation, Biafra, has been in existence before the arrival of the Europeans. Are the Europeans not human beings? Are they not human beings like you? If you claim that you are whatever you are, you have Western education, you are in business, you have money, or you have natural wisdom of Akonuche, whatever you think you are, what you have to be doing, what you have to be doing right now is to support the freedom of Biafra through referendum. Talk to the Europeans. You live with them in Britain. What are you doing? Go and talk to the Prime Minister. Go to their parliament. You live in America, go to the White House. Go and make your case. Don't be doing infighting, fighting amongst yourselves, fighting amongst ourselves. Why the enemy, the person holding you hostage, is right there looking at you, laughing at you, and you're there doing that, you're this and you're that. That's not going to help us. So the takeaway from today's lecture, because it's going to be short, as you know, I think Nkoloma we want to make it short, is that the Biafran nation had been in existence before the arrival of the Europeans. And the Europeans only came in the 1400s. The Biafran nation had been there for many, many, many millions of years. And then Lord Lugard will come and amalgamate you, put you in this geographical area. And evidences abound. The Bight of Biafra that the Europeans named during slave trade. Why did they get that name? Because they know that the Biafran people were instrumental also in that slave trade. And they told you the areas it covered. And then the research performed by British researchers just between 1856 and 1911 is also testifying to the fact that the Biafran people had been existing before amalgamation. And then the war that our chief general, Eze Buruburu, one of Igbo land, of Biafra land, from 1967 to 1970, And even after the war, the Biafran people had been living in Nigeria. We are in Nigeria. We are not in Nigeria because we want to. We are there because of the gun of the British through all their stooges in Nigeria. You know whom their stooges are. If you don't know, go and do your research. And the question Nkoloma Hadum is asking the Biafran people, why are you not supporting the freedom of Biafra through referendum? That's what you should be doing. Do not misplace your priority. That land, the foreign land you live in, outside Biafra land, is not your land. Your land is Biafra land. And you have to work to get freedom for Biafran people, Biafran land, through referendum. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. But before we do, we must beg you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our programs, comment, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms. And finally, support the Eastern Security Network. The Eastern Security Network is the only network that are stationed in the bushes to drive away the Fulani, herdsmen, terrorists from our farmlands, bushes, and forests. Because that is where they stay, to plan attacks, to kidnap, to kill, to maim our people, and also to take our resources and by force. Support them so that our farmers can go into our forests to farm and produce food for our people. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Again, my name is Obiora Mba Iboweze. Thank you very much for participating in this lecture, and have a good one.